this month, Mars, but don't read it here.
Latin. Marti. Mars plus yeah, it's an adjective, there's a suffix something. I guess that will be Marsus.
Yeah.
Right? Latin Martius, mensis, month of Mars. Martius has always had 31 days.
Read.
March was the original beginning of the year.
Read that again.
March was the original beginning of the year.
So they understood that March was the beginning of the year. What we're going on with January? Right? Read that again.
March was the original beginning of the year and the time of the resumption of war.
So they understood this, but they set up January as the day. Now we're going to read here why they set up January. So read the month January. So we just get the understanding on why they did that. Because it's all part of our worship. Right? Read it.
Janus month, as I believe it.
Janus month.
Of God, Janus. This is Latin. Januarius of Janus. Latin Januarius mensis, month of Janus.
Month of Janus.
Janus is the Roman god of gates and doorways.
So when you're saying people, read that again.
Janus is the Roman god of gates and doorways.
So when you hear people say January is the first day of the year, they say that this is the doorway going into the new year. It's all associated with a form of worship and paganism. Read it, continue.
Janus is the Roman god of gates and doorways, depicted with two faces looking in opposite directions. His festival month is January.
His festival month is January. So when people doing the fake Old Year's night, operating in the fake New Year's, having the fake New Year's resolve, things they're going to do for the, you understand? Now, this is all in worship of Janus. He's depicted with a face facing the old year and a face facing the new year. So even in the document here, they had January 1st here. We read March and it says the original beginning of the year. Now the Bible tells us to learn not the ways of the heathen. So when the church brings forth the understanding of the months according to the Bible, it has nothing to do with what the heathens have established. Because they themselves mark up. Now this is confusion. March is the original one, but who changed it? I'll show you. Get Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. I have some documents for you guys afterwards, right? We're going more into the Hebrew calendar. So after class, come on, we'll get, right? Don't have much. Read it.
Book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Read it.
And think to change times and laws.
Change the times what?
And think to change times and laws.
So they thought in their heart to change times and laws. The Most High set it up in a way. And listen, 14 days from now is the Passover. 14 days from tomorrow, Most High will. When the sun sets today, 14 days from that time is Passover. If the New Year was the year what them says the New Year, the 14th of January would have been Passover. They and all do believe in that. They just tell us that. And I believe I saw, and the holy days just fall off so bad that Easter falling on April Fool's this year.
Yeah.
Easter falling directly on April Fool's. So it's a whole joke. So people, read that scripture one more time.
Book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time.
So, brothers and sisters, we need to understand, what did they change? How much are you all familiar with the Book of Enoch? See, not significant amount of hands down. So we're going to go into that a bit small amount today, just to get some understanding on why and how we are to operate and how the other nations went off. This is a copy of the Book of Enoch by R.H. Charles. Right? The reason why we go into Enoch is because it lines up with Scripture, and the Bible, even the Apocrypha, the entire Bible, supports the reading of this book. It is referenced heavily in the book of Jude. That is the book right before Revelations. Right? Most people don't know about this, and without Enoch, you can't understand where evil spirits come from, and you won't be able to understand how to reckon times. Now the Most High said to remember the Sabbath, to keep it holy. Right? I'll ever think about why he said that? Alright. How much days in the Roman calendars here? 365, right? No, let me jump the us yet. 365 people, let's see. How much days in a week? How much weeks in a year? 52. 52 times 7 is how much? 364. And anybody account for the next day missing? The data missing? The Most High told us to remember the Sabbath. Do you remember the leap year? So it all ties back to this. The way how Enoch told us to follow the sun, follow the years, is by the sun. The sun, brothers and sisters, was set up to give us understanding of the signs. It was a sign to let us know when the sun sets, a day is done. Right? This is a clear indication that a day has ended. The sun always does that, but the moon goes off course. Brothers and sisters, every other nation outside of Israel follows the moon. The moon is not consistent enough to reckon days. We use the sun in the Garden of Christ Church because we follow the Book of Enoch. So I want Brother Courtney to read the Book of Enoch, chapter 72, which talks about the sun. Right? So the Book of Enoch, chapter 72.
This is taken from the Book of Enoch, chapter 72, as on page 95. I believe the R.H. Charles edition will follow the same page if you have. The book of the courses of the luminaries of the heaven, the relation of each according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me. And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are.
So listen, it says shows me all their what?
All their laws
And
exactly as they are.
And they tried to change times and laws? So there's actually a heavenly law. When we say the Lord's Prayer, we said on earth as it is in heaven. There's absolute order in heaven. There is a law of heaven. So as we read in here, the law, there is a law according to the luminaries for the spirits that is in the heavens to show forth on the earth. Continue.
And he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which endureth, I believe, till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary of the sun has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven. and it's set in the western portals of the heaven.
So this portals that the sun comes out, the Bible is the Book of Enoch is depicting it as portals. Now, not the portals that they show you through the Hollywood movies. The sun comes out through a side, comes out through what we know as you understand, the sun rises, you understand, and goes down every day. Every day we see this thing. So it's depicting that. Reading.
The luminary, the sun has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and it's setting in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets.
Right. So the sun rises from 6 portals, different portals across the year. Any of you ever make any observation as the sun rising from different points from the horizon? Look at it sometimes. And it's significant with the times. The sun rises from different points, and the heat it gives off affects the earth in different ways. This is how we end up with the different seasons. The place more hot sometimes, the place cold sometimes. Now, this is before the invention of science. And they didn't have all this science and all that thing going on. There's just a conversation here going on right now. So we have the records right here from Enoch. Continue.
And the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes for the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he's quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of the heaven. And in this way he rises in the first month in the great portal.
In the what?
In the great portal.
So it rises in the first month.
In the great portal.
In the great portal.
Which is the 4th. Those 6 portals in the east. And in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings from which proceeds a flame when they are opening their season.
So listen, this is what I'm talking about. I know it's a little complicated, right? But I couldn't read it real straight. So I'm going to just summarize it a bit. When it says how the sun rises on the first month, meaning for the entire month, it's going to rise up from a specific position. As it go along, because the year is breaking up in 4 quarters, right? The document here has an image of a circle here cut up in 4 sections, right? There's winter, spring, autumn, and summer. Every time the sun moves from these different portals at the times of the year, the weather changes. There was a time when we was now coming into the winter, the place just get cold all of a sudden. Ridiculously cold. It was almost like overnight. The season changed and you feel it. You know? So it's something what we just allow these Gentiles and these astronomers to dictate in our life now without question. Understand? So the Book of Enoch here has a testimony against the foolishness that these people dealing with. So I want to just get something here quickly, because I said something earlier that we have a 364-day calendar. Because the Book of Enoch talks about a 364-day calendar, and the world gave us a 365-day calendar with an imaginary day. Is that imaginary day? So I want to get, from those go. Yeah.
Book of Enoch, I think this is page 100, chapter 12, verse 12. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so that they do not advance or delay their position by a single day until eternity.
We are leap year.
But complete the years with perfect justice.
Perfect justice.
In 364 days.
300 and what?
364 days.
364 days in a year. That is perfect. 52 Sabbaths. The first day of the last day of the year is always going to be a Sabbath, and the first day will always be first day of the week. It will never be no, like how they just always change it up. You ever notice your calendar just do that? Much all your birthdays on Friday, Sunday, Monday, all the birthday changing all over the place. That's not so. That's not right. That is disorder. You understand? So this is what they do to confuse us and have we out of it now. And the law of the Most High told us to remember. We have to remember the Sabbath. And this is what is meant behind it. This is the spirit of the law coming out here. So we need to, let me continue because I want to get something up. Okay. Listen to some numbers here.
In 3 years, there are 1,092 days. And in 5 years, 1,820 days. So that in 8 years, there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone, the days amount in 3 years of 1062 days. And in 5 years, she falls 50 days behind.
So the moon falls 50. Read it.
The moon. For the moon alone, the days amount in 3 years to 1062 days. And in 5 years, she falls to 50 days behind.
So the moon, if you're following the moon, and you jump in your years by the moon, you'll fall back. You will always fall back a couple of days behind. So this is, and listen, they've been doing this for years. No, 5 years. No. Them doing this for hundreds of years. Centuries, them following this thing. So you know how far back them is? So brothers and sisters, this is just to show you why they had to set up the fictional day in order to get things back on track now. They're trying their best to get it back now. When the Most High had always used the sun. Let's finish up.
That is to the sum of 1,770. There is to be added 1,062 days. It's 50. And in 5 years, there are 1,770 days. So that for the moon, the days in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. Verse 60. For in 8 years, she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. All the days she falls behind in 8 years are 80.
In 8 years is 80? 80 days?
Yeah.
Lost 80 days. 80 days for 8 years. This is what the Most High was very careful with telling us, to learn not the ways of the heathen. They look at the signs of heaven and they confused. No, they confused, but they're coming in front of you with confidence and telling me, yes, this is how it is. That's why the Most High told us to be a light to the Gentiles. We have to be a light to the Gentiles. We can't follow them. Right? So, that's the day for this, the chapter done, right? Right. Yeah.
The years accurately completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rises from the portals to which it, that is the sun, rises and set 30 days.
I said, all right. So, we're going to go in one last verse, one last book here. This is our next book the church uses. This is called the Book of Jubilees. Now, it's simply a book that, this book goes into the times before the flood. It deals with the times heavily. concerning all the events that took place. Listen, when the Most High tell Moses to build the ark, it was timed perfectly. On the exact hour, the Most High timed it on. When all the water come out and full up the earth, timing. When the water dissipated, timing. This is we records. And this is what it is tried through doctrine to get us away from. The Book of Jubilees, the Book of Enoch, and also the Book of Joshua. These are pillars in the doctrine and the understanding of the history of our people and what brought us to this point. So, alright. Jubilees, the Book of Jubilees, chapter 6, verse 25. So you can write that down so you can get a PDF of Jubilee. Also, the document that we have here, we're going to take a lot more deeper. For you all afterwards, you'll get whoever to get, right?
And if you have an Android device, you can get a copy of the book, or you might be able to get one on Play Store.
Yeah.
On your phone, or your tablet, or whatever device you have. Right? Book of Jubilee, chapter 6 and verse 25. And on the new moon of the first month, he was bidden to make for himself an ark.
Right. So on the new moon of the first month, Noah was bidden to make the ark. Really.
And on that day, the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. Verse 26. And on the new moon of the fourth month, the mouths of the depths of the abysses beneath were closed.
Really?
And on the new moon of the seventh month, all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened.
So you see,
water began to descend.
So you see from first to fourth, the seventh, you see that change. Now this is an angel speaking to Moses. This record here is an angel speaking to Moses on the mount. This is what was revealed to Moses. Read.
And on the new moon of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on this account he ordained them for himself as feasts for a memorial forever.
Read.
And thus are they ordained.
So that is why we have a double Sabbath this Sunday coming up. The so-called Sunday. Read.
And they placed them on the heavenly tables. Each had 13 weeks. From one to another past their memorial. From the first to the second, and from the second to the third, and from the third to the fourth. Verse 30. And all the days of the commandment will be 250 weeks of days.
Read that again.
And on the days of the commandments will be 250 weeks of days.
That's 52. 52 weeks. Right? Follow me? Read.
And these will make the entire year complete.
These will make the entire year complete. Now, we're not saying things just so. It's in the records. Read.
Thus it is engraved and ordained.
It is what?
It is engraved and ordained in the heavenly tables.
In the heavenly tables. Not in the Gregorian calendar. It is engraved in the heavens. Read.
And there is no neglecting this commandment for a single year, from 1 year, for a single year, or from year to year.
We can't neglect this. This is the most I say to remember. Don't neglect it. Remember. The holy days fall on strategic points throughout the year. When we come together, we all, not just to drink and eat and, the holy days is to remember coming up. Let's see Purim, we're coming up to the end. Let's see Passover, the year start 14 days ago. Read.
And command thou the children of Israel.
Who?
And command thou the children of Israel.
No, the Egyptians.
Of Israel.
The children of Israel. That is why the Most High, that is why we was a separate people. We didn't even deal enough with the calendars. Read.
That they observe the year according to
the Sabbath fall. If you look at it from the perspective of the calendar today, it will change from, it will keep changing. Like, what is the date today? The 10th, right? Next year, most I willing, it will change. It will change to 11. That make any sense? Why is it moving? What's moving it? This is Satan trying to, this is him put a doctrine in place to continually move it and shuffle it around. Nobody can really watch it, so they just give up. Let's listen to the white man. Let me just listen. He put on your white coat, he should know. I don't know. You understand? This is what they do. Continue.
But if they do neglect and do not observe them according to his commandment, then they will disturb all their seasons, and the years will be dislodged from this order, and they will disturb the seasons, and the years will be dislodged. And they will neglect their ordinances. And all the children of Israel will forget and will not find a part of the years, and will forget the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths.
So when you listen, so this is reference to some of the other camps and even the Seventh-day Adventist Church who say that they keep it. Now I have people I know, and some of you all might know people in Seventh-day Adventist Church. When we keep the Sabbath, you will see they will be keeping it on they keep the Passover, they will keep it on a totally different day because they follow the moon. All the other camps on them follow the moon. So they don't believe in this. They don't believe in the records now. So this is the problem. This is why you might notice that it will look like you might think that we off. No, we follow the sun. Most I put the sun for signs. Sun and the moon as a sign. Understand? But the sun have its law and the moon have its law. But we don't follow the moon, and it will show you why. Read.
And they will go wrong as to all the order of the years. For I know, and from henceforth shall I declare it unto thee, and it is not of my own devising. For the book lies written before me, and on the heavenly tables the division of these is ordained, lest they forget the feast of the covenant and walk according to the feast of the Gentiles.
What?
And walk according to the feast of the Gentiles after their error and their ignorance.
The feast of the Gentiles. You understand? Now this was the plan all along. It had going on. Yeah.
Verse 36.
Let me see what is the feast of the Gentiles.
For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
Of the what?
Of the moon. Now it disturbs the seasons and come from year to year.
Read the whole thing. Because I want to show you the correlation between the Gentiles and the moon. Read.
Verse 36. For there will be those who will assuredly make observations of the moon.
This is prophecy.
Now it disturbs the seasons and comes in from year to year, 10 days too soon.
10 days too soon, every year. Remember it said 8 years, 80 days short. For 8 years, you're coming 80 days short. 10 by 8 is 80. So the books line up, and it's showing a prophecy. Everybody following this moon. The moon was not for that. It will declare seasons, but it's not to follow, to reckon days. Read it.
For this reason, the year will come upon them when they will disturb the order and make an abominable day the day of testimony, and an unclean day, feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the unclean day with the holy.
So you see how important it is. Read that part again, because I want to hear that good.
For this reason, the years will come upon them when they will disturb the order.
Now, they said that the years will come upon them. Another prophecy. This is not talking about the last times. Because that in itself, brothers and sisters, is ungodly. Because the Most High set up a plan. He set up a way. He set up an order. And people want to do what they want because they watch the moon. It's moon worship. Now we're not worshiping the sun, we're listening to the Most High. And this is what they try to make us do in order to get us away from our God, to break the commandments. So imagine if the feast, one of the feast days fallen on a day, we ain't taking it on, and we're going to worship it. We're going to have the feast tomorrow. We didn't even know it fall on that day. Have no idea. We go in and shop and buy, and we didn't even started to congregate with nobody. We in sin, and this is what they do. All throughout every facet of society, they do this thing. That is why you have, now the Most High had to put this in place years ago. Thousands of years ago, the Most High put this in Moses' mouth to come and tell the people, to tell the leaders of the people, and to set it and preserve these books for the last times. Why do you think this book survived? Survived for us, so that we will learn. You understand? Enoch have it written in the book too, you know. It's for the last days, for the chosen to read. Finish up on that.
And on a clean day, a feast day, and they will confound all the days, the holy with the unclean, and the clean day with the holy. For they will go wrong as to the months, and Sabbaths, and feasts, and jubilees. For this reason I command and testify to these, that thou mayest testify to them. For after thy death, thy children will disturb them. For they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason,
Wait. Read that again.
For after thy death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only.
300 and what?
364 days only.
So they have a 365 day calendar now. They have all kind of calendar. The Egyptians had a calendar called the wandering calendar. Wandering. It used to move. They couldn't control it because they was following the moon. After a certain length of time, they don't know what's going on no more. They have to switch back and let's start over. Look up that, the wandering calendar.
Wonder how they get in this mess.
That's what they call it that. They had no idea how they was gained. They didn't know what was going on, and this is Egypt. This a lot of people praise this nation as, you know, it's so great. But it was proven to be nothing before our God. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, let's be on this. You know, that's where a lot of Christians in the Christian church really don't keep the Saturday, the 7th day as the Sabbath day. They'll tell you things like, well, I can keep Sabbath any day. You will hear some of the most well-known practitioners of that thing. E.D. Jakes, Austin, Peter Floyd Dallas. They all do it. They'll tell you any day is the day of worship. But you know, when you read this, you know, they only with your clean or clean their feast day. So they just do it. They say any day and they're supposed to be good with that. A pastor says so, right? Wait, let me continue. For after thy death, thy children will disturb them, so that they will not make the year 364 days only. And for this reason, they will go wrong as to the new moons and seasons and Sabbaths and festivals. And they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh.
You see how it is escalate? You see how it is escalate? You listen, at this point in time here, like some of the people are like, what? How that gonna happen? We see it today. It falling, it just keep escalating, brothers and sisters, and it got to this point because we started to break these laws. It didn't just start with just people just doing, listen, it's the first commandments of the Most High is to love the Most High with all thy heart and thy soul. That is to love the Most High. We would keep his commandments when you love the Most High. That involves every ordinance and statute. Read. No, you finished it?
Yeah, but I just wanted to say one. And you see this last sentence here, and they will eat all kinds of blood with all kinds of flesh. As we sell, as the children of Israel sell, pray on it and eat it. We just to throw some pepper, do something. Like that is make the thing clean. Just eat that. See that good. See that? You see what the book says? And they will eat. And this is so true, you know. So as the scripture says, they will tend to change times and laws, and it's right here. They don't care what they eat. Shrimp, crab, lobster, anything. $300 for the poor thing in a tank in True Value. And they have a man fishing it out. Anything, just eating anything. They say good. They use the scriptures wrong. They say it's not what bring a man out to defile them. And when you read further down, it's talking about what you're eating, it's talking about washing your hands. Talking not about that. But it's true.
We're going to go, and I want to go to the Apocrypha now. Ecclesiasticus chapter 33. And verse 3, we're going to read verse 3 first, alone. Yeah. Then after we're going to jump down to verse 7, same chapter, right? Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. How many of us have Apocryphas? Right. Who need Apocryphas? Good? So get Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 verse 3.
Book of Sirach.
Yeah, 33.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 33 and verse 3. A man of understanding trusted in the law.
In the what?
Trusted in the law. And the law is faithful unto him as an oracle.
So this law trumps the pastors, trumps listen, it trumps us. The brothers who in the church and doing the work, listen, this law is greater than what you see here now. And we have to put with faith and we trust in the Most High's law. Now down to verse 7.
Verse 7.
Now this is a scripture where you can use now for the question people has asked. I just keep my Sabbath every day. People say that now, I just keep my Sabbath every day. Read.
Verse 7. Why does one day excel another when all the light of every day in the year is of the sun?
So this is the question, if I pose it nice. Why does one day excel another when all the light of every day in the year is of the sun? All the days the same, eh? Why we separating one day for? You understand how they talk to you? Why you separating one day? You didn't do nothing. You just listening. They have a problem with obedience. It's hardened children at the end of the day. Read.
By the knowledge of the Most High they were distinguished.
Read that again.
By the knowledge of the Most High they were distinguished.
No, by the knowledge of man.
By the knowledge of the Most High they were distinguished.
By the knowledge of the Most High they were distinguished. He separated them. We didn't do that. None of we all like the Most. He made the days. He set up all these different times for us to operate, to come together with Him in the Spirit. Read that script. Read verse 8 again.
By the knowledge of the Most High they were distinguished, and He ordered seasons and feasts
He did that. Read.
Some of them had he made high days.
As he made what?
Had he made high days,
Yeah.
and hallowed them. And some of them he made ordinary days.
Read that again.
Some of them he had made high days and hallowed them. And some of them he made ordinary days.
So we have ordinary days, brothers and sisters. There's ordinary days and there's high days. So when you talking to some people, just understand you're dealing with hardened children. You're rebellious. Right? Note this scripture down, brothers and sisters. Because he asks the question, why does one separated heat say? It's because the person who make it, the manufacturer's direction on how to use the air, Most High manufactured it. He make all the days. He told us to be holy, for I am holy. So we can't be saying that how them days not holy, or his son come and make the days null and void. You understand? Read it.
Verse 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth.
So this is the next part now. Oh, this is our next one now. Will contradict this world's belief of equality now. Right? Equality. Now this is a note here too. I just want to go, and since the brother suggested that we read about this, this scripture is this nullify that myth. None of us are equal. The Most High is not a Chinese sweatshop that making pencils. All of us unique. All of us have strengths and weaknesses. That is why we have to come together. We are a body. And you never see a body that's composed completely of arms. Everybody is an arm, one set of legs. Understand? Here's how the head. The head could have its own operations. The arms have their operations. Understand? That's why he didn't get two left hand. Anytime you see that, there is a problem. So this whole coming together under equality, no. Right? Read it.
Verse 11. In much knowledge the Most High had divided them and made their ways diverse.
So it takes much knowledge to divide and make you the way you are. Just like how he do the days. He think about why he set up this one this way and that. Why he short so? Why this fella tall so? Why he do that? We just stop looking at, the world teaches us to look at what we do have and stop looking at what we have. That is get you depressed. When you're watching, boy, that man could run fast, boy. While you on a roof working and you in afraid heights. He can't come up there. He watching you and saying, boy, but that's good. I can't come up there. Yeah, you see how it is go around? We're only watching it from our own perspective. But that is why we just have to come together and understand our strengths and acknowledge our weaknesses. Read it.
Verse 12. Some of them he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself.
So some of them he blessed, and some of them, well, he set some of the people near himself. So this is what it is, and in contrast to Israel, it is called this a racist God. Oh God, people go find out God chose Israel now. We'll talk about that. What kind of God is that?
I have a problem with that.
You have a problem with that? Nobody have a problem with, like Malalashmi is an Indian God. Nobody have a problem with how these gods look. Buddha is an Asian God. Nobody have a problem with that. The Most High chose us to be a special people unto himself. Now with that comes with a lot of responsibilities.
That's right.
You don't get to be a king without behaving like a king. You have to behave like a king and behave like a queen. But the record's old. Now, my book not so new, but the book's new. The records on them, they're long time. And book burn it, our books, look at the Library of Alexandria. I going through. They used to burn books in the 16th century. The Bible survived. All this is to wake up the people. It's all part of an awakening. Is it last verse?
Yeah, but some of them had he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places.
So there's the others too who get cursed low. Now this dealing with all different aspects. But brothers and sisters, we have to understand that the Most High divided these days. The Most High divided and set everything in proper lining with His plan. And if we are to be called the children of Israel and the children of heaven, we start behaving like that now. Forsake all the knowledge that you learn. We need to understand that Satan have been working for years, centuries. He set up, where you feel that coming from? This wandering calendar, where do you think that come from? Where did that come from? Yes, sir. Jeremiah 10:1. Use this for Christmas, eh? But this verse is significant. What we're dealing with right now.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Most High speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus said the Most High, learn not the way of the heathen.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
The heathen are dismayed at them.
But
jump down. No, we know where I'm going. They're dealing with the Christmas, but this is how it starts. They always look up at these heavens and get dismayed. When Abraham came to Egypt from the Chaldees, now them was dealing with madness. Abraham, believe it or not, brothers and sisters, and you can get this in the book of Joshua and also in the book of Jubilees. When Enoch, Abraham used to go and do his studies and look at the sun, and he thought for a while that the sun was God, and he observed that the sun would go down. It's setting. He said, what kind of God is that? And he would look at the moon, and the moon day, and then it gone. How God disappeared. So it fell upon him. And he understood. Abraham was actually, after the flood, he was the first re-emergent of monotheism, meaning the worship of one God. Because in that land, they was worshiping many gods. And when he made his way to Egypt, he brought his research to them. Now they took it and he showed them, listen, I realized this and this, but this is what he learned about the stars, you know, the northern stars. And these people and them took this now in Egypt now. And you know, or let's see what's going on in Egypt. Or let's see what happened in Egypt in the past. But one thing that's always come out is always end up with the worship of the luminaries. You end up with some form of Christmas. You understand? Look at it. The heathens are dismayed at them. This is ancient Babylon. They have a mother, a virgin mother, and a child. In the ancient Chaldees, they have it. In ancient Egypt, they have it. And so on. Every time the heathens look up that, they all the same spirit playing on them, and they are dismayed at it. And they come up with all these myths. It reoccurs, brothers and sisters. And I'm telling you, when you look at it, it does that. They found that out the hard way in the Book of the Two Babylons by Alexander Hisler. Right? So get Samuel chapter 1 verse 15. 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 22.
Book of 1 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 22. And Samuel said, "Are the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, or as in obeying the voice of the Most High? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams."
So the Most High said to obey is better than sacrifice. So when people say they're going on holding hands for Christmas and holding hands for all these different holy days that Satan has set up, saying we're doing it in the name of God, although they don't know the name of God, they're giving the Most High ram and fat and all these animals and sacrifices to the Most High and not obeying Him. He never gave you that day. Listen, your New Year's dinner party, that was not New Year's. All of us come together and eat some food. They just, I had nothing to do with nothing. All they come together in winter and eat some food. So, going forward, let we operate under righteousness now. Continue.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Read that again.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft.
Ubia. Voodoo. Shango.
Madness.
No, this is how it is get. It is an accumulating thing. It is built up. Because you're teaching your children that. You see, like how these children, and I praise the Most High, brothers and sisters, that the children here gain an opportunity to come out of the matrix now, to come out of the madness and not be deceived. I don't have to go through what we went through. Don't have to be deprogrammed. You get programmed with the right thing right away. Real children of Zion. You understand? I praise the Most High that happened. Because when they gave us these things, the parents would teach you, listen, come together for Christmas. I remember how nice Christmas used to feel. I'm talking freely here. Good. I remember that time. Michael Jackson playing around, ham cooking. The ham cooking, the bread it's still heat coming off it still. Cocoa tea bubbling. Them thing in my brain, yeah. Tell you all that? Yeah. It happened to all of us. So now that we coming out of it now, we have to really, it's really a fight, it's an uphill fight, to get back to where we was. It all starts with the breaking of the commandments and the lack of knowledge. We start to follow all sets of different things. Start following people. Start following the Gentile holidays. Start worshiping the sun. You're not observing the sun, you're worshiping the sun. But following the moon for your days. We need to get back. We need to get back. Read verse 23 again.
For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry.
Because thou hast rejected the word of the Most High, he has also rejected thee from being king.
He has also rejected thee from being king. Well said, Samuel. So, questions?
Like if we add Hebrews 5 and 20, 5 and 21. Yeah. 5 and 21 to 26. Just a complete way was to add the way was. 5 and 21.
Brothers and sisters, even if you might ask me some questions today, if you have any problems that you might see, like things you might feel like you have a contradiction somewhere, ask the brothers, ask the officers. Understand? We'll help you. Understand? So we try to be on one accord. I went back and forth reading this thing, reading Enoch with that, about these portals and how they operate and how the times are. Brothers and sisters, as the scriptures say, it is a perfect law. It is a perfect law. You don't need no mathematician. It's just most guys like Uriel. Let's go and tell you that Uriel know what's going on. Read.
Book of Enoch, chapter 5, from verse 21. I despise your feast days.
So this is what happened when they started to dislodge from the holidays of the Most High. They started to follow the moon and put the feast days on abominable days. The Most High started saying what?
I despise your feast days.
I don't want nothing to do with that.
And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
Who tell you to cook that?
Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols.
I will not hear that. He ain't have no time for that. Listen to me. Our one.
But let judgments run down as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. Have ye offered unto me sacrifices and offerings in the wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel? But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and shrine your images, the star of your God, which you made to yourselves.
And that star, where you see some of the brothers from the other camps wearing, it is say that is the star of David. That is the star of Megan David. Megan David. That is a demon. Right? So, these brothers and them, I tell you, when you start to go in this moon understanding, you're following according to the Jewish people, you will end up with the star on your neck. You will end up with, you understand? How the Christians going now with the Christmas and eating all kind of animal, discount on shrimps, you know, the normal, everything. You just go off. And we people went through that already. We ain't going through that again. The Most High say in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 16, thou shalt see it no more again. We're not going to see this again. We're going to go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, chapter 2 verse 10.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 10.
Now this scripture encapsulates everything. It's dealing with everything. Are we going through today? Any form of oppression, any form of, any kind of fight back or push back you'll get from this world, following any one of the principles of the Most High, whether it be from the church, whether it be from the law system, this scripture shines a light on all of that. Solomon in his full wisdom looked at the world and how it operated and see what they do. The spirits that are in this earth, you see what they do. Read it.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow.
Read that again.
Let us oppress the poor righteous man.
You're not just the poor man. The poor righteous man. Read.
Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
So we elderly and we women again, we. And they will try to divide male and female with all these different things. All these different. Now, Brother Raka sent me a video this morning. I don't, these kind of women live things what is come out these days now. Now, I just be familiar with this, but when I see it happening here now, I know where that is go. Sisters, the first female liberation happened in the garden. The first female liberation happened in the garden. Right? And look what happened to us today.
Yes.
We have curses. Listen. We in a mess. Everybody in a mess today because of that liberation, that first liberation. All Satan, these spirits and their motto is to divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Why is he empowering you alone? Why you gain the power alone? Think about it. Because that's who they coming for, you know. They coming to bribe all you, to leave the men aside. To hate men. And listen, it has some, these sisters and them on the other side who like all a little too much. No, I ain't joking. This is who you're going to find at the top. And there's these little groups and them that coming out.
Wicked as hell.
The wicked. And this is what they're going to push for us to operate on that. And they will try to get women away from the men. They're pushing it already in the soca song on them. Years ago, I remember this woman was singing, you don't have a man, you have a manager.
Which one?
Nah, Baxter.
Nah, that wasn't that. Yeah, you know, that was the next one.
Nah, that's all.
Yeah, you gonna know.
Yeah, it was a very wicked song.
Yeah, I listened to that song and I was like, what is this?
I mean, that wasn't a wicked.
How this going to work? This is indoctrination. Anytime your husband says anything, he's trying to manage you. Yeah, he's trying to control you.
Gotta put away that.
Your hands up there, brother.
And the moment you stop glory over that song, you know.
Of course.
Anthem.
In fact, yeah, that was an anthem. That heap of wickedness was an anthem.
But Beyonce was talking about to the left, but
Yeah.
she didn't even she was meant for nothing.
But you see, she promoting Hodam and that kind of behavior. But she's still with Jay-Z. She's still with him, you know. She'll tell you to do that. No, she ain't crossing that bridge.
Just the other day we had was last week.
Yeah, no,
International
yesterday.
Day and
It was
Woman or
yesterday.
something. Was it last week or something?
Tuesday.
Was Thursday. Yeah, it was. Yeah. They've been promoting this madness on the earth for something. Why now? You know.
And when they do this to try to separate the sisters away from the men. Divide. That is what they do. Tell you, listen, you have a day for you, you know.
And you know who they targeted, Israel.
We have now a woman president.
Oh, that all line up with international movements they do. Nobody is telling.
So, let the brother continue the verse. Because sisters, just be careful with that. Be careful with that, be wary. This is how Satan is trying to entice you with power. But we have strength when we're together. And listen, I remember I watched a video and I typed something on the YouTube comments at time, and I tell this brother, Satan is always try to give you a thing where you don't have it.
That is so true.
Remember when Yeshua was getting tempted? He was in line for kingship already, to get a kingdom already, And Satan come and say, I'll give you a kingdom. Yeah, I'll fix you up real nice. He doesn't. Yeshua would be like, what? What? You go from here, like, you know.
Yeah, but yes, even he got.
You understand? And then Eve now, the Most High made Adam and Eve in the image of himself. There was already the image of the Most High, of God already. And he said, you will be like gods.
I am the poor woman.
You will be like gods. You, image of God. You're already in the image of God already. You're already in the full power. You have everything.
Yeah, so we get this.
But this is when this dude the guy started to respond on YouTube up to the day talking to me. Never hear that before now, but this is how we have to show this old trick you keep using over and over and over. Take you away from your husband and the power that you have to empower you.
But you're on welfare.
Yeah.
But you can't have no man in the house.
He did. He's the power.
Yeah. There's one group of people that target centuries. You. That's it.
And listen, this is what they go do. This is what they go do. Continue.
Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous.
So they said that let their strength be justice, the law of justice. So they will use the laws against you, against us. Read.
Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our till.
So when we operating in the righteousness, that you is who they waiting for. This the chip that's coming out the mark of the beast. I told Ricardo this a couple of times, but he's like, boy, that is a good plan. Like, how else you can find the righteous people of Israel? How else? Just open your grid and you go to see the ones on them who ain't take it and like, we find them. Go and get them. That's a good idea. You feel Satan, you're not stupid. The chip, the mark, the badge of servitude. That is what the word character means in the Greek for mark. It's not sun worship, Sunday worship. Them is going to wait forever for them. The word there means a mark or etching on the skin or a badge of servitude. Right? This mark gonna be something on these people. And when they open up the grid, which you know today as the internet, or it is used through WhatsApp, this is gonna be used against us. And they gonna know. They will know. This law, it will be a law where they're going to use. This is going to be the justice. Because the Most High law, they stay one way. Their laws just change. Understand? Just the other day, all I couldn't go over 80 on the highway.
Yeah. A month ago.
A month ago? You understand? Their laws could do that. Read.
Because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objected to our infamy, the transgressing of our education.
We watching them and saying, what you going to do with that pocket? You're going to do that pig, you're going to let it go. You're going to let go that pig, let it go in the wild. We coming up botheration to them. It's a problem now. Some of us might be bolder than others and say Happy New Year. Be like, what is March? You're offended. Understand? Read.
Verse 13. He professed to have the knowledge of the Most High, and he called himself the child of the Most High. He was made to reprove our thoughts.
He was what?
He was made to reprove our thoughts.
He was what?
He was made to reprove our thoughts.
He was made to reprove our thoughts. Is that like
Shemai
that?
Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one power. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4.
Shemai Yasharala Ahaya, Alahaya Nawa Ahaya Akkad. The Lord our God is one.